Good morning. How are you? I hope you're having a great day so far. So today, we've been talking about fear. Today, I wanted to talk about decisions. The decisions that we make in our lives determine the outcome and our destination. Decisions, every moment, we have a decision to decide what to focus on, what to give our attention to. And sometimes there are a lot harder decisions, right? Should I go to school? Should I get a new job? Should I maybe consider or reconsider the relationships that I'm in? Be it friends or maybe even a marriage. These are all decisions, some easy, some hard. But how do we, most people, they'll see these difficult decisions and they'll just freeze up and they'll put it away and they'll let it sit. And then days go by, sometimes weeks, sometimes months, sometimes years, and a decision still hasn't been made. My friends, that is no way to live your life. Now, I'm no professional decision maker, but there's been several decisions in my life that I can look back on and pretty well see that it was a good decision, and it's led me to the path that I'm on now, and the lessons that I learned along that path have been invaluable. So the statement, your decisions, not your conditions, determine your destiny. All around us, there are people who have come from very difficult beginnings. And at some point they made a decision that that was not going to define them. Where they came from, the financial conditions that they grew up in, whether they had two loving parents or whether they had no parents, they made the decision that that wasn't going to be the definition of their life. And they decided to move forward in a different direction, or to take that as fuel to power them into those new decisions. Now, making those kind of decisions is very difficult. Everybody wants to know what's going to happen, what happens at the end, right? You want to fast forward your life and see, is this going to work? Is this going to mess things up? But I would submit to you, it is easier to change directions sometimes than it is to make that first decision. That first decision can set you up for a follow-up of many other good decisions or bad decisions, but it's how you take a look at your situation and decide, today's the day. I'm deciding that I am going to act. I'm going to do something. Now again, that certainty that we need in ourselves, you don't really need the certainty. You can make the decision. I promise you. Just do it. That's it. But if that's harder for you to just do it, then you might need a little bit of help. Now, my decision to do these live videos, I haven't done public speaking in years. Matter of fact, I really don't like it. But I decided the other day, I was impressed to talk about my feelings on fear, because I see fear all around me. And that inspiration, if you will, led to what I've been doing for the past several days. You may like it, you may not. It may be for you, it may not. But I've made the decision, and I'm committed to it, and I'm following through. So, how do you get that certainty? Well, if you haven't heard of a guy named Tony Robbins, look him up. The guy's pretty smart. He's got some pretty neat things to say. He has a little exercise that he calls the success cycle. And it goes a little bit like this. Get out your piece of paper and follow along. So you're going to make 4 boxes. Basically break the page up into quadrants. So we're going to go like this. We're going to go like this. Go like this. And we're going to go like this. Now, each one of these, you're going to put a label on. The first one, you're going to put potential. The second one, action. This bottom right, results. And finally, over here, good old certainty. Or belief. Okay, so let's talk about each one of these. So, potential. What is the potential of a human being? I would say there is no potential. There is no limit to what a human being can do. Look around us. Human beings have gone from living in caves or foraging for food on the plains to building skyscrapers to reach up into the sky, launching rockets into the atmosphere, sending satellites out into the beyond. We find cures for diseases. We've created vehicles and airplanes and all of these things that have been created around us that I didn't make them. You probably didn't make them, but we still enjoy them. So to me, that just dictates there is no limit to our potential. So, action. Well, you got to take action. You got to do it. You got to make that decision. But again, on potential, now how many times have you gone into something? Let's say you decided you wanted to work out. Working out is difficult when you get started. So you took action. You wanted to work out. But how much potential of your dedication did you put into that decision? 100%? Really? Are you still working out? That's why most people fail. Not fail, but most people stop after things start to get hard because they didn't put in enough of their potential. They only kind of went halfway in. And you can see this all around us. Whenever people start on a New Year's resolution or they decide they're going to start reading books or they're going to go to school and then things get a little bit tougher, they're not getting the results that they want to. We'll get to the results. And so then they start dialing it back. But it's because they didn't put 100% effort into it. So once you figure out how much potential you're going to put into this decision, the results that you get are going to be equal to the amount of potential that you put into the action. So if you're only putting in half effort, you're only going to get half results. Now, when you get those half results, how's that going to make you feel? You're not going to feel very good about it. Your certainty about your decision might start to wane a little bit because the results that you're getting aren't what you wanted. So what we need to do is this here. We need to change this certainty and increase that amount of certainty so that we can give our fullest potential to that action and get those fullest results. So how do you get this certainty? Well, it takes practice. If you're going to try to learn an instrument, you got to practice. You have to get over the mediocre results and keep putting in the full potential until these results start to level up. Because as you're learning new skills, it's going to take time. It's going to take reps. See, the unfortunate thing is we don't get to see what goes on in the background. For all of these athletes, actors, entrepreneurs that go out and build these wonderful things that we've come to enjoy and create these amazing films and music and sports activities for us to watch and enjoy, we don't see all the work that went in behind that. We don't see all the reps that they did. We don't see the thousands and thousands of hours of practice that they put into these things. All we see is game day, or we see the movie, or we see the end result of whatever they did. But it took a lot of work. There are no easy paths to get massive results. I'm sorry to break it to you. The life hacks, and there's certain things that you can maybe ease up a little bit, but as far as like snapping your fingers and suddenly you're going to have a rocket ship shooting into outer space, it's going to take a lot of work to get to that point. So, certainty. How do we get that certainty? Well, there is not really a trick, but your mind doesn't really know the difference whether you actually did something physically or you just imagined that you did it and that you went through the motions in your mind. Let me give you an example. Stand just like this. Go ahead, stand up. Now, point your finger out, just like that. Now, I want you to, with your feet still planted, turn to your right as far as you can, your whole upper body with your finger pointing, as far as you can comfortably. Don't try to strain, don't try to hurt yourself, just go as far as you can comfortably. All right? Okay, now, back to the front, arm down. Now, close your eyes, still standing there, arms down by your side, close your eyes. See yourself standing there. For some people, this is easy. Just give it a try. See yourself. Okay, you see yourself now. Raise your arm in your mind, point forward, and now in your mind, see your upper body twisting and turning to the right just like you did physically. And go all about 180 around, if that's further, a little bit further than what you did. And then see in your mind, come back to the front. Now, again, see in your mind, finger pointed forward, turn to the right. Now this time, go 3/4 of a way around. And in your mind, you can do that, right? There's no pain, there's no injury. Now come back around. Now one more time. This time, eyes still closed, still standing still, finger pointed, in your mind, your finger's pointed, but in reality, your arms by your side. Point forward. Now, spin around like an owl's head and just go all the way around. How crazy is that, right? Now, come back around. Now, open your eyes. Now, finger forward. Turn to the right as far as you can go. Now, what happened? Did you go further? 80 to 90% of people will go 25% further than what they did the first time. Now, could you have done that at the first time? Of course you could have. But in your mind told you, your brain told you that you can only go so far, and that's what you did. Now, those mental reps that you just did, in your head, all that did is told your mind, hey, okay, we can do a little bit more. Let's give a little bit more to this endeavor. Let's pump a little bit more into this effort. So, get into the habit of seeing yourself accomplishing those things that you want to accomplish. Envision the future that you want to be in. Don't worry about the mistakes that you've made. Don't let yourself get hung up on the things that you think you can't do. You can do anything. I promise you. With enough potential effort put towards your decision, you're going to get those results. You're going to see that it's working. You're going to continue to get certainty. More potential can be put into it. And then what happens is it just turns into this cycle. And my friends, this is how big things happen. So, that's our thought for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's given you something to think about. Give us a like if you did. Comment if you got questions, or if you want to add anything to it. Share if you think anybody else might be able to use this information. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time. Have a great day.